Hyperphantasia, referring to those whose imaginations are incredibly vivid and sight-like. Making this font bigger because my glasses are still broken. I should not be reading a news headline about a sledgehammer attack in Torrance, California, and think, oh yeah, I really need to write to Stephen King again. Actually, I'm just going to read my notes about The Shining for a camera and see if anybody wants more. That'll be coming up soon. Maybe when dealing with migrants at the border, instead of throwing them in jail, let's make it so they go to the police station. They can go to the police station and say, I'm running from drug dealers, please help me. Because the building inspector showed up here and made the building owner fix my bathroom and floor, even though I haven't paid rent in 4 years. That wasn't the building inspector's job. His job was to make sure the building was safe. Isn't that a cop's job? To keep everyone safe? It's so hard to file a police report, yet so easy to go to jail. People aren't safe in jail. I want to ask every cop, what's your job? Cher's son spends all his trust fund on drugs. He doesn't walk around with the ukulele for weed money. I used to have a full-time job where I could afford rent and weed. I'm not there yet. It's been difficult with all the challenges like an overflowing sink, bathroom ceiling falling down, going to jail for sitting on a sidewalk, getting robbed when I first moved in here, Pedro stalking me, Jack from Titanic ghosting me constantly, Seth MacFarlane won't leave me alone, I spend most of my time alone, and I haven't seen my family in 4 years. Walking around is good for my health. Playing ukulele is fun and makes people smile. I have this apartment where I don't pay rent and they can't kick me out. I need to put this time into something that's going to fulfill me, not only financially, but creatively, emotionally, spiritually. Do I have a spirituality? What does that mean? A belief in the spirit world? Not necessarily. I am haunted by many spirits, but I feel it's mainly psychological. I think my spirituality is a combination of moralistic beliefs in our collective consciousness, how we can be happier and kinder to one another. How is that different than believing in an invisible man in the sky? If the result is a calmer, happier, and more compassionate human being, perhaps we can keep this instinct. Maybe spirituality is just a belief in something greater than yourself. Our collective well-being should be a higher power to us all. We should all want to stop the bombs and declare peace. What good do bombs do? Stop other bombs? Is it good to kill in self-defense? Ukraine is fighting a defensive war against Russia. Russians are murdering Ukrainian citizens, not the other way around. It's fucking insane that Russia has veto power over their own goddamn war crimes. This is a little disjointed today, bear with me. I feel like getting a poster of Alanis Morissette and creating a shrine to worship her. George Carlin said he prayed to Joe Pesci instead of God. Joe Pesci never played God in a movie. I doubt anyone could top Alanis's performance. God in a tutu and flip-flops, cleaning up a religious terrorist attack, then sniffing a flower and doing a headstand against a tree, and then her tutu flips up and you can see tartan boxers. She's so kind and graceful, natural and loving, best of all forgiving and understanding. I feel like crying thinking about it. I don't think it's safe to worship a person. Worship in general can be a bad habit. I worship her performance, Alanis is the god I admire and aspire to be like. Sometimes early in the morning, I wake up and listen to All I Really Want by Alanis Morissette, screaming out the feelings. I haven't posted a video of me singing it yet because I haven't practiced enough. Alanis deserves an optimal performance. I'm consumed by the chill of solitary, frustrated by your apathy. All I need now is intellectual intercourse, a way to get my hands untied. The song is devoid of material desires, does not worship romance or give power to takers. It's a declaration of identity, of needs and wants that make us human, beyond the materialism that distracts us from who we really are. When she sings, If Only I Could Meet the Maker, I always respond, you are the maker, Alanis. Because she'll always be God to me. The sweetest representation of what God's love is supposed to mean. A parent, a protector, an educator, and the only one who can make it all better. Who is God to you? What does he or she look like, sound like? What is the personal relationship you have with an entity in your head? Even if you believe God is real, you hear his voice in your head, right? You imagine him watching over you. How is your relationship with God like your relationship with your parents? People without parents can form a strong bond with God as a replacement. Maybe people with parents think of God as a third parent or a grandparent. It's the judgment I don't understand. Why do you want to feel judged by an invisible man in the sky? Do you ever get to the point where you're like, you know what? I don't care what you think, and you sin anyway? Because people who feel judged are often very judgmental of others. My beef with religion is the hypocrisy. Wars, megachurches, sister wives, heartbeat bills, fuck all that shit. This is a compilation of several days' worth of journals, so it's a little all over the place. Brad Pitt's birthday shirt was a cry for help. A horrendous midlife crisis in gold cashmere. Was he wearing a shirt he knew I would hate? It looked like the wallpaper in a 1970s apartment where a drug dealer is squatting. I wore a gold sequin dress when I got this drum tattoo on my arm, and I posted pictures on MySpace. Is he trying to be like me? That's cute. He's drowning emotionally and about to crack. Not snap. Crack like an eggshell. His ego is actually very fragile because he's been challenged so little. Except for his children and Angelina Jolie. They're the only people on the planet who provide Brad Pitt ego checks. I guess I do too now. For free. Now that people are listening to them, his image isn't so sparkling. The Barnacle girlfriend is making it way worse, and he's been letting her. She's leaning into the Barnacle identity because it's expiring soon. Brad is figuring out she's got no interest in his children, and I didn't see any pictures of Brad and Shiloh, and I understand why she wasn't happy about that shirt either. The only reason they had a joint birthday party is his Barnacle girlfriend she wanted more presents and attention. It's such an unhealthy and toxic relationship. I hope he breaks it off soon. He wasn't at her solo birthday party, so maybe he's had enough. If my words have such magic powers, Brad Pitt is listening. What if one of your children were in a similar relationship? Would you approve? That question is a trap. Say no, you're a hypocrite. Say yes, you're just an asshole. You want your children back, you gotta at least look like you're making an effort. Would it kill you not to have a girlfriend for a while? Like, focus on yourself? I'll allow it. What the fuck does Seth MacFarlane want from me? He still won't talk to me, won't pay me the money he owes me. I would put most of it into Ukraine Cat Soldier. And that would entail setting up a film and animation studio in Ukraine with the best equipment, and it should be free to attend the school. Especially for veterans of this fucking war. 100 million should do it. There isn't anything Seth MacFarlane can do that I can't do better. Or hire a war veteran who also draws cartoons. There has to be one. Many more who maybe want to. Need an outlet. Don't we all? If I write to Zelensky with $100 million to invest in a studio/school dedicated to recovery for war veterans just to make a movie about a cat, I think he'll get the joke. Something tells me he would get the joke. I could accomplish all of this with Zelensky's help. Seth MacFarlane won't part with that money. It's what I feel owed. If he can't understand that, die mad about it. It's not my problem. I wasn't his problem when I was on that sidewalk. He would throw me under the bus again. That's how I feel, and that's why I don't trust him. I don't trust Jack from Titanic either. I hit both of them in my fan fiction. That's completely unhealthy. I didn't realize what was going on behind the scenes. Not until recently. Now I hesitate to add another name to my lullaby list because I don't know if that's healthy or not. I'm not why they died, but I could have been a catalyst. Billie Jean Carter, a third child in a family of 4 children. I think Nick is the only one left. The other 3 died from drugs. Aaron may have been reading my writing. That means they all may have been. I can't immediately add a name to the lullaby list. I have to think about it. I'm almost afraid to write about it because I don't want anyone to put themselves on it. Sinead O'Connor may have. Henry O'Connor was one of the protagonists in my novel. Fuck's sake, I resent her for that. Making me feel guilty forever. It's not my fault. Not Joe Pesci's fault either. She just lost the battle. I understand how fucking exhausting it is to deal with mental illness. And Shane, her son, had committed suicide a year before that. And he was only 17 years old. Mental illness runs in families. I'm putting Cher on my needs therapy list because my queen deserves the best mental health care with her millions that her millions can buy, same as her kids. Reminder, the needs therapy list is a nice list. Suggesting someone needs therapy is a kind and compassionate thing to do. I suggest therapy to people I love and people I hate. Maybe the latter will stop bothering me if they do. Cher is awesome. I love her, but she needs goddamn therapy. Speaking of which, I made Kanye West apologize to the Jews. That was me. Now do Pete Davidson. You buried him in the fucking ground. That was fucked up and a bad example to set for your children. It's never a good idea to attack the romantic partner of your co-parent ex-partner. I feel that's common psychology. I would really like Kanye West to seek mental health care. If he really does have bipolar disorder, it is not under control right now. One apology to the Jews didn't fix anything, but it is a step in the right direction. Israel doesn't write his name on their missiles because they're fans. Be nice to Taylor Swift, too. I'm pretty sure her fans could build their own army. I'm writing a book on how to be nice, and I'm pretty sure I haven't even figured it out yet. The actor who played Arnie Grape is still ghosting me, and something tells me he will start talking to me again in January, when he's done getting wasted for the holidays. He's choosing substances over me. Maybe he feels like he doesn't have a chance because he has to sell alcohol now and be seen drinking it. Show up to parties sponsored by alcohol you won't drink, people talk. Doesn't matter if you want to or not, you don't want them to talk. They're already talking, and his only defense is to act like everything is normal. People push alcohol and drugs on him, so he's a boozy clown for their entertainment. It's almost dissociation from reality, feeding that hungry ghost. In Buddhist philosophy, hungry ghosts are the ones in the first realm of the underworld. People who spent too much time in life satiating material desires or addictions. Hungry ghosts are skeletal with distended bellies, hunched over and crawling around, searching for food to satiate an endless hunger. River Phoenix is a hungry ghost. Los Angeles is the first realm of the underworld. Is anybody surprised? This place is full of hungry ghosts, both alive and dead. The actor who played Jack in Titanic is searching for warmth, love, and safety. His hungry ghost is lonely like when he was a child. An only child with a single mom. Why do I sympathize with him more than all these other stalkers? I think I sympathize with Joaquin Phoenix more. Joaquin never attacked me. He honored me, worshipped me, didn't assume that he was smarter than me or better, said that we're the same and like he was worse. Joker was a cry for help. He's not better than me or anyone. We're all the same. That's a perfect kind of movie. One that shows us who we really are and how we're all connected. So rare, so beautiful. Joaquin was capable of that already. Todd Phillips is a good director, though. He captured G.G. Allin before he died. If G.G. Allin had killed himself during a performance, would people have said that was the best show ever? It's called Daffy ducking. Impressive, but you can only do it once. There's this Looney Tunes episode where Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck were competing on a stage by performing increasingly impressive tricks until Daffy drinks explosive powders and chemicals and blows himself up. And as he's floating up to heaven, Bugs says, "Wow, Daffy, that was great. The crowd loves it." And Daffy says, "Yeah, but I could only do it once." That was fucking disturbing. He committed suicide on stage. And he did it to spite Bugs more than to impress the crowd. G.G. Allin was spiting his abusive father who named him Jesus Christ Allin. A prolific recording artist who enthusiastically sang about rape and pedophilia and would take a shit on stage and eat it, spitting the shit at the crowd. People paid to see this and participate. I really should be getting paid for writing. What if Will Smith had walked up to Chris Rock and kissed him on the mouth instead? Like a Bugs Bunny kissing Elmer Fudd kiss? That would have been assault too, but everyone would have laughed. They may have told Chris to laugh it off like it was a joke. What would have been the point of kissing him? To say that he agreed that his wife could play a Navy SEAL, embracing her alopecia as she was doing? To make Chris uncomfortable? Make everyone uncomfortable? Would that have been better than slapping him? Wow. That's a conundrum. What would Chris Rock rather have happened? Will Smith kiss him or slap him? Neither, obviously, and being forcibly kissed can also be traumatic. Chris also said, "This is the greatest night in television," after being slapped. If he had said that after being kissed instead of slapped, would it have been as sarcastic? Either would have been Will Smith's Daffy Duck swan song. He's still working, just not for the Oscars for a while. I still feel bad for Chris Rock, and I hope he doesn't take offense to me wanting to write a sequel to I Am Legend. He could do that too, if he really wants to find resolution to the trauma of being assaulted on live TV. Actually, Will Smith may not have even been banned for 10 years if he kissed Chris Rock instead of slapping him. Like, they would have done an inquiry or something, but it wouldn't have been such an obvious choice, right? I also want to write a spin-off to Dogma about serendipity, and Rufus the Apostle should be in it too. Obviously, if there's a way we could not give money to Weinstein, let's do that, please. But, I mean, he must owe his victims millions of dollars, right? Maybe Weinstein's people will give the profits from like another Dogma movie to women in film, or pay off his victims or something like that. Like, if we really want to continue the art and not pay that horrible man, there's got to be a way.